The other really important part about having a brand is finding your voice. You don't want to be acting and you don't want to be fake when you do this. You want to be authentic. Welcome back to Organist Launchpad. I'm Wesley Hall, and in this video we're going to be talking about your brand, who you are, and how you communicate who you are to the wider world. So first of all, we need to talk about the word brand. Brand can leave kind of a bad flavor in our mouths. We live in a world of consumerism and buying and selling and branding things and marketing things, and that's really antithetical to what we want to be as artists in many cases. But the idea of a personal brand, I really think it predates any of this, smartphones, video formats, any of this stuff. If you go way back in the organ world and think of someone like Nicholas Bruns in early North Germany, well, I would argue that he had a brand. Think about him up in the rear gallery of his church, playing the violin with the double stop technique, playing multiple notes at once, playing multiple notes with his feet, and convincing people in the room that there was an entire consort of musicians in the back. Then he'd pop out and say, "Nope, it's just me," and enjoy the surprise. That's a story that's made it through the years. But that's part of his brand. Think about Paganini and the rings he wore, people making him take the rings off because they were convinced there was some magical power helping him play the runs that fast. But even in more modern times, think about as inimitable a figure as Yo-Yo Ma. He's a great musician, acclaimed around the world, but he likes to have a little bit of fun. Think about the Goat Rodeo album. Think about him playing with folk musicians and kind of broadening outside of the classical world itself. That's part of his brand. And he'll even sit alone in a chair somewhere and play by himself to draw attention to various social issues that he feels are important. That's Yo-Yo Ma's brand. A brand doesn't have to be tawdry and chintzy. A brand is you. So when you start making content, I want you to ask yourself and think, who am I? Who do my friends think I am? How do I speak? What kind of things interest me within our field? And you can get really specific. We're presumably mostly all organists, but even within our field, there's all kinds of variety. Some of you may be into theater organs or silent film accompanying. Some of you are more in the Virgil Fox school. Some of you are more in the E. Power Biggs school. Some of you are into choral music. And even within that field, there are so many various ways to do that. So these are all parts of your brand too. Are you interested in how organs work and how to build them? Do you like tuning them? There are so many subfields that are going to be a part of your brand. And the other part is how you look. How do you dress? What do you wear? What do you like to eat? In my brand, I'm always drinking coffee. Thank you. That was very natural for me. I didn't have to change anything to have an iced coffee in most of my TikToks. I also like beer. I also like video games. So I play video game music alongside traditional organ music. This has become part of my brand. My friend Anna Lapwood wears a bright red blazer in many of her videos. That makes her very easily identifiable. And it's a smart thing to do. So when you figure out your brand, maybe ask your friends and say, how do you think of me as a musician and as a person? You might learn some stuff about yourself you didn't know. The other really important part about having a brand is finding your voice. And when I say finding your voice, I mean it really specifically, but I also mean it metaphorically. Because part of your voice is the way you speak and your register, as they say. But we all have various registers. We all have different ways that we speak. And figure out what those are. Find that sort of silly voice you use when you're making a joke, or that very serious, engaging voice you use when you talk about something you're really passionate about. But make sure it's one of your actual authentic voices. You don't want to be acting and you don't want to be fake when you do this. You want to be authentic. But your voice can also be something less specific. For some of you, you're just going to play music. And your voice might be the breaths and the expression that you put into romantic music or Baroque music. That's going to define where you put the camera. Maybe your voice is in the beautiful colors you're able to find in the organ. So you might want the camera near to show the stop combinations you're making. Maybe you want the camera out in the room to show the beautiful articulations you're using. Your voice is so many things, but whatever it is, it's authentic to you. So our goal in finding a brand is to find something relatable and something authentic. So do a little soul searching and see what you can find. Stick with us for the next video where we're going to talk about specific social media platforms and how to use those platforms to achieve the goals that you set for yourself as an artist.